All right. Happy Tuesday and welcome to our first of four rotating new recruit training lessons that we're going to have. We're going to, they cycle through. And so each month, as we add new team members, we'll be able to kind of standardize training and kind of keep everybody, giving you guys a little bit more of a personalized way of learning through things. Obviously, you have your team leaders helping you, but sometimes it's nice to, different people learn in different ways. Sometimes the video is nice to learn from. So for those of you who are new enough that you don't know me, my name is Catherine, and I am a senior executive, and I'm here on Freedom Leaders with you guys, or Freedom Riders with you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and get started by sharing my screen, and we will get started with the training. All right. Okay, so today we are talking about, let's see if I can do this, make this small enough. Partying with a hostess. And there we go. So some of you may have launched already, some of you may not have. The principles are fairly similar, but the partying with a hostess is such an important thing because we just have one launch, right? But hostess parties are the bread and butter of our business. When we book from parties, and what that does is it allows us to get outside our social circle. I know everybody out there has that one or two friends that are always asking for, they're always asking the same people to buy their stuff or whatever, and we don't have to do that because of hostess parties. So when hostess invites her friends, you get to tap into her friend circle, and then when you book a party from that, you get to tap into that friend circle. And so you can get outside of your friend circle within 2 or 3 parties if you do it right. And that's why hostess parties are so important. And that's why that's the first training, because this is how we get a sustainable business, is by learning how to rock these parties and continue to book from them. So step 1 is to actually book the party. It takes about, we consider $250 to be pretty average. So it takes about 4 parties to get to Success Kit 1 and get success bound. And that's a good number of parties to also get into the rhythm too. So it's, that's why Success Kit 1 is so important, because it's really helping you get into the habits and get a little bit more independent. In Unit 1.8, if you didn't do your list of 10 people with your team leader, go back and do it now. And if you did, do another 10 and expand your list beyond just the people you thought of before. Think of if there are any friends who have kids with birthdays coming up. I actually just did 2 parties back to back that were huge with the mom made a wish list and invited friends and family, and some of them shot for themselves, some of them shot for the birthday boy, and they were huge parties, and they were so fun because they were celebrating the little boy. It was really great. It was really great parties. Same idea. Who's expecting a baby? Baby showers are super fun. I love doing baby showers. And then grandparents. I love doing grandparent parties because grandparents love to spoil their grandkids, and they love to choose gifts for their grandkids that their grandkids are not just going to toss aside, that they're actually going to appreciate. And so grandparent parties are great too. So if you already made your list of 10, go back and kind of expand it and see who else you can think of. And one thing I hear a lot from newer consultants is that you're worried about bugging people, or that, begging or feeling desperate or something like that. But if you have the mindset of you're getting these people some awesome free books, you can offer them way better, way better hostess specials than I can, because you, in your incentive period, can give them double free books, which is way better than anything that a longtime consultant can offer, any hostess special. So you're offering them this amazing gift of a box of free books, and all they have to do is take 10 minutes to invite their friends. It's an amazing deal for them. And so if you think of it that way, instead of, will you please help me start my business? That mindset will help you feel more confident and sound more confident when you're asking people. All right. Also, fall is coming, so do not be afraid to double book. We're going to talk a little bit more about what the fall selling season entails, but talk to your team leader about starting to double book parties, how to get confident in that, because it increases it has the potential to double your earning potential with very little extra work if you do it right. So don't be afraid to put 2 parties on the same day and rely on your team leader to help you learn how to do that, because I guarantee you it will make your fall much easier as well as more lucrative if you do. All right, so step 2 is hostess coaching. It's so important that we're actually doing an entire training about it next week. So, oh, and by the way, I can't see the chat right now, but if you have any questions, type them in the chat and then I'll address them at the end. I forgot to mention that. Hostess coaching, there's no one right way because there's not a set answer that you're going to get from your hostesses. So in short, use the 3-way conversations with your team leader. I've had a couple of people are worried that their hostesses will get scared off. And yes, that has happened like twice. But having those 3-way hostess conversations allows your team leader to see in real time how you are coaching and how your hostess is responding so that she can help you respond in a way that keeps the party moving. Also, check 2.1 and use the 3 asks. I promise you, when we started implementing that, mass invites and hostesses going rogue went way down. Those 3 asks are gold. Screenshots are your friend. Screenshots with your hostess. Screenshots with guests. They're your friend. Use your team leader, you guys. Your team leader has been doing this a lot longer than you have and has seen lots of different situations. She wants to help you, so rely on her. Use the screenshots. If you're a little embarrassed that you worded something wrong, that's fine. It means you know that you can improve and your team leader wants to help you. And then use the units. Use the units. They're there for a reason. We have great wording in there that works. You know, we upper level leaders still use that wording. We're not just giving you something, that we don't use. We're never going to give you something we're not going to use. So use the wording, use the flow chart. It's all there for you. Also in Unit 2.5, recruit your hostess 3 times. And again, we're going to talk about this more next week, but for those of you who have parties this week, and I hope everyone does, that's what I wanted to say about hostess coaching in brief. All right. Okay, now is the fun part. You get to set up the event. So just like you did with your launch, you get to use a mock event, a mock party. And as you get a little bit more practiced at it, you can start changing out a graphic here or two to try to keep the party fresh, especially if you have people who, lots of times I'll have my hostess from last week decides to join the party for this week because, it was her friend who booked the party or something like that. And I'll usually give her a little discount as like a thank you, like a shopping credit or something. So we want to show them that it's not, that we don't do the same thing over and over again. We want to keep it fresh. So use the seasonal mock party. It works. The format works, trust it, but you can change out a graphic here or there and ask your team leader how to do that if you want to. Add your team leader so that she can see every post and she can help you spot recruits, spot potential hostesses, answer questions. And before you add anyone but her, make sure that you have an interaction post so that not having an interaction post up in a party before people are invited is kind of like walking into an empty room of a party, right? So we want to have something that they can interact with right away so that they're not just like, I don't know if any of you have been early to something and just standing around in an empty room. It's not comfortable. We don't want that. Really super, super, super important. Before you add your hostess as a co-host, confirm the exact number of yeses. This is in the unit, so go double check it for wording. Confirm the exact number. It has to be over 15. And then once we've hit that benchmark, then you tell her, then you add her as a co-host and say, hey, the party's set up. You're a co-host. Go ahead and add that number of yes. So that it limits inviting. Some people still do it, but it really cuts down on the mass inviting because we only want people there who want to be there. And so that really helps convey that to your hostess. Okay, next is establishing messages. This is the most important part of your party. This is actually the reason we have the party, is so that we can get in touch with your hostess's guests. So there are two main things that we do to do this. And the reason why we have to do this is because Facebook has put out safeguards so that if I'm not friends with you, you have to accept my message in order to see it, for us to communicate. That way we're not getting spammers or weird stuff. But as, people trying to communicate with our, hostesses guests, we don't know them. There are some ways that we can make them approach us so that we can break down that wall and they can communicate with us. So one of them is that you'll notice in our templates, this is from our back to school template. We're moving into a fall one soon, but you'll get the idea. We have multiple posts or games that say like private message me. So like you have the how many deck erasers are in the glass. I like the guessing games. They're fun. People get competitive about it. It's really fun. How many pencils, are in the jar. Message me your answer, and then you give them a prize. And the prize I always give is 15% off their order, because number one, it gets them to order. And number two, I'm still making a profit because I'm making at least 25% commission, right? So, and when they have 15% off, and they'll inflate their order a little bit because they know that they're going to get 15% back. Another one is the quiz games. I love those too. The trivia stuff. It also, one thing that's great about them is it shows off a book of ours. I've had lots of people who buy that book because they like the questions in it. And then finally, our first post is almost always, our first live party post is almost always, how do you know the hostess? And they always give a guess or whatever. And that's another message me post. So here's how we initiate messages. After the party is set up and your hostess has invited her friends, everyone's in there, you send a message through the party, and the unit tells you how. I'm not going to do that right now, but I'm talking about the important thing about why we do it. So we always start in a non-salesy way, because people are inherently distrustful salespeople. So we want establishing a relationship. We're showing them that we're more than just salespeople, that we genuinely care about them. And so we start with how do you know the hostess? This is an example from a party I did last week. So you want to make sure that you interact with them about this before you move to buying. So, hi there, I'm Catherine from Jacqueline's book party. I can't wait to party with you this week. How do you know Jacqueline? Okay. So I've introduced myself. I'm asking, how does she know her? And she says, hi, I know her from college through Greek life. Don't just stop and say, okay, let's buy books. I went ahead and I said, that's great. How fun to be able to stay in touch and have so much in common during this new season of life too. Because I could tell from her profile picture, which I blacked out, but that she had a kid too, and that the hostess did too. So I knew that they had things in common from both. People say things like, I knew her in high school. Great. And then you say, how wonderful that you were able to keep in touch. Or her kid goes to the same school as my kid. Oh, great. How that you guys were able to become good friends too, or something like that. Allow that back and forth. Allow a little bit of a cadence. She agrees with me. Exactly. Hooray. And now look, we both accepted messages. We can now call each other and see information like active status and when you've read messages. And now she's a hostess for me. She was actually supposed to host tonight, but the hurricane happened, so she's hosting next week. But that relationship is so important. And this is skipping to, oh dear, sorry. Okay, and this is skipping to the end, but we end in a non-salesy way too. Sometimes people get discouraged when they hear, I am not interested, especially if they've heard it multiple times. But stay positive, and give them the opportunity to join your VIP group and stay in touch. So in this case, this was from a party about 2 weeks ago. I think, and this is where the guest really surprised me. Not interested, thank you. And he gave my standard, you're welcome. Join my VIP group if you'd like to stay up to date on new releases or special deals. Sent her the link. And she actually, sometimes will just get the thumbs up, sometimes they'll get nothing. But in this case, she said, awesome, thank you. And she joined right away. That was surprising because she didn't seem interested, but apparently she wants to, stay in touch. And I've actually I had just a month or two ago, a party with a lady who joined my VIP, didn't buy anything at a party, one of my very first parties that I did. back in, beginning of 2018. Right? Yeah. And never bought anything, but joined my VIP group and interacted on things as long as there was a giveaway or like a deal or something like that. Only shopped for discounts, and then finally hosted a party. And it was like a $500 party. So keep those relationships. Sometimes it's hard to remember that we're playing that long game, but we are. This is a relationship business, and sometimes those relationships aren't instantaneous like this one. Okay. Sometimes this person might end up being a hostess in a couple of months when she realizes she wants to do some Christmas shopping. Who knows? So keep those relationships, start them and end them in a non-salesy way. All right. Step 5 is ages and interests. This is the other most important part of our party. The first thing, I've had hostesses ghost me for so long that this was the only pre-party post, and that's totally fine. It's the only one you need. You want to be able to start learning about their kids so that you can so you can serve them. You can make great wish lists for them. So the first thing we do is we tag them right away. That gets participation up as soon as possible. Then we pique their interest with one showstopper. Don't show them a million. They're going to get overwhelmed. So even if they have 5 kids, pick one book that will pique their interest, and always end in a direct question. What do you think? How would he like this? Do you already have this one? Isn't this fun? Things like that. Always end in a direct question, because that invites the conversation to continue. Then move them to Messenger after they respond. Because again, step 4, we want them in Messenger. That's how we're going to communicate with them. So here's an example. This is from that same party, Jacqueline's party from last week. I always, again, this is a relationship. So where there's give and take, I always give first. So I tell them about my kids. I show a picture of my kids. That helps disarm people a lot. So I'm not asking for anything from my guests that I'm not doing myself. So I say, show a picture, right? Well, here's my picture of my kids, and here is my information about them. Not only that, but it also shows them kind of what I'm looking for. Some leaders actually talk about their kids' favorite books. And put it right there. But what that does is it helps the guests kind of follow your example. So here's an example. This must have been from 2 weeks ago, because she was at the party before. So, and then she became a hostess. So she talks about her kids, and then, I reply, her son loves garbage trucks and construction trucks in general. So I said, my little truck lover asks for busy trucks on the go on repeat. He loves the rhyme and seeing every single type of truck there is. Now, I knew that she was a junkie, so that she already had a lot of them. So I'm asking, does Nolan already have this one? But I could be like, what do you think? Would Nolan like this book? And she says, no, not yet. So I said, excellent, writing it down. Send me a message and we can keep chatting about other ideas I have for both kids. And in this case, we were already interacting on Messenger, so I didn't put my Messenger link. But for people who I haven't started interacting with, I put my Messenger link. So it's one more way to get them to message me. Sure. So this is a super important post, and should not be neglected. This is the most important pre-party post. All right, so now it's the live party. The first thing is to follow the units. I'm just going to keep saying that. Just follow the units and use the mock party. Don't try to go rogue and do your own thing. I promise you that the formula that's in the mock party works, and that what's in Unit 2.8 about copying and pasting and everything works. All right, now I'm going to stop sharing for just a second and show you my face, because go live, period, you guys. Going live is so important. I know I have so many new consultants that are afraid. They think, oh, I don't have enough books, or, oh, I'm nervous, or whatever, or it's not going to be perfect, or I don't know enough. That's not the point. Again, this is a relationship business. And so people want to see your face. When you hide behind posts, they can't make that connection with you. I will tell you, it gets easier every time. And I have an outline that I do, where I kind of show the same type of books with each party. I don't reinvent the wheel with every single live. Different leaders do it different ways. So talk to your team leader about how she does it. Because obviously we're having success with how we're doing it. And so put your confidence in her. Ask if you can be in one of her parties to see how she does her live. But the point is, do it scared, you guys. you already tried something new, right? You already joined this company. It's already something new. Try something new again. You don't have to have a big bookshelf of books to have a great live. The 5 to 10 books that you got in your kit are plenty to show your excitement about them. You joined this company because you're excited about the book, right? So show that. Smile. Show the inside. You know, get your flashlight. I have a really hard time being coordinated enough to use the Shine-a-Lights with my flashlight going live, by the way. It's always really clumsy. But that's the thing. It's real life, and you're showing your excitement about it. Like, how cool is that you can show them behind the picture how the Shine-a-Light works, or you get to show them a pop-up, or show them, like, lift the flap and show them that whale poop is pink. Oh, what is poop? That's what's going to sell the books. It doesn't have to be a bookshelf full of books, you guys. Yes, Suzanne, do it scared. You'll love it. It's true, you guys. Do it. That's my challenge to you this week, is to just try it. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, I was going to tell you this story. So my office is crazy crowded. I've got the dog's crate right here. The piano is right there. And there was one night that my husband is never home for bedtime, but he's usually home before my parties start. And this one night he just was home really, really late. And my 2 youngest kids had fallen asleep in the car. And so they weren't sleeping. They were not sleeping. And so they were awake. And I got every non-UBAM book we had, like, that I could grab in quick succession, stuck them on the couch, and said, okay, read this for 10 minutes so I can go do this. And it lasted for about 3. And then my 2-year-old comes walking in and goes and sits on the piano bench and starts plinking on the piano. And I was like, I get up out of my chair, so all they see is my chair. And I carry him out and I close the door and I lock it. And the whole rest of my life, my kids are like banging on the door, let me in, I want to see. I was mortified. But you know what? It was a great party. And I had more than one guest message me afterwards saying how, like, they appreciated how real it was and that they could see that I was a mom who loved my kids. So you guys, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just do it. Okay. I promise you, you will not regret going live. Okay. So that said, I'm going to share my screen again. Okay. So again, have fun. It's contagious. This is a relationship business. We're doing a party, right? There are people in a party. So we need to, so we're putting our face out there. We're smiling. It's going to make them smile. We're showing our excitement about the books. It's going to make them be excited about the books. It's going to be more like a party if your face is in it. I will say there are, lots of other direct sellers out there. And the more personal you can make it, the more likely they are to want to buy from you and not someone else. I bought these books for 8 years. And this was back in the era of home parties, right? And my book lady at the time she did like one Facebook party, but it wasn't awesome. And I felt like I was cheating on her when I went to my first party that was hosted by Kristen, or not hosted, but like put on by Kristen. And I was like, this is awesome. This is so fresh. It's so fun. It's so young. Her personality came through, and that's what made me want to buy from her and then host and then ultimately join. And so be different, be you. Okay. You are so much a part of this product and a part of this company. So live party, that's it. All right. Step 7 is follow-ups. In short, do them, you guys, just do them. Okay. Do them, period. We do have to work for that commission. I promise. Yes, you do get, people who buy the books during the party. That is true. But by and large, follow-ups are the difference between a dead party and an awesome party. Because again, it's the relationship. You're serving them. Okay. I used to work in retail, and we always, how can I help you? And going up to someone and communicating with them. The orders are always the purchases were always bigger when I could help them find what they needed. All right. So as far as doing your follow-ups, schedule your parties for days when you're not going to be leaving on vacation or going to Disney World or things like that. Like, make sure that in your calendar, that you have 2 days with enough time to actually devote to follow-ups, or else there's almost no point to your party unless you schedule the time to do the follow-ups. As you're doing them, check your mindset. Remember that our books are amazing and that every child deserves to have them in their hands. Sorry. You joined this company because you love the books. So show that love. You're the enabling force allowing these children to have the books in their hands. You're not bugging them. You are enabling them to get these books. You're also reminding busy moms who forget things all the time, right? I know I forget them all the time. I can't tell you the number of times I've left an Amazon cart or something, or like done my Target drive up and forgotten to check out. And like, I'm on my way. I'm like, oh shoot, I forgot to check out. We're reminding busy moms. We're not bugging them. Okay. And yes, you saw my earlier slide. Rejection does happen. Remember, in a non-salesy way, people will surprise you. Okay. Give people the chance to surprise you. So how we do it is in Unit 2.1, it's day 1 follow-ups. Your hostess gets to help you with this step. So it's different from your launch in that way. As far as the messages that you send, you're serving them. You're, like I showed you with the ages and interests, we're giving them something first so that there's that give and take. Day 2 is Unit 2.10. Show off those books. That's what sells, right? I mean, like, people don't walk into a Barnes & Noble and look at a cover and say, oh, that's a pretty cover, and walk out. No, they stand there, they flip through the book. You're flipping through the book for them. Show them off. That's what's going to sell the books. Sorry, it's telling me I've got 10 minutes. And I can't tell you the number of times that I've sent my day 2 follow-ups like, hey, this is a best, this life-size book is super cool. Your kids can see how they measure up to, these animals or this dinosaur or something. And they're like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot. Thank you so much. That book looks amazing. I would also like this and this and this. What do you have? So just because they didn't respond on day 1 doesn't mean they're not going to. And I tell you what, that day 2 follow-up, like, I don't know how to percentage, but that's a high percentage of people who buy because of day 2 follow-ups. After the party has closed, day 3 and beyond, they're just friendly reminders. Don't overthink. Don't get a complex about it. You're reminding them. Busy moms forget. And that's just fine. In fact, that party that I showed you, Jacqueline's party, or no, it was a different party last week. I had a lady, like my hostess is already checking or looking for her rewards. She's like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot. I still want to buy books. Where's your link? So people forget, but they still want to buy books. Okay. All right. So last step is picking winners and hostess rewards. Picking winners. Your mantra is always get a booking. You can't access new social circles if you're not getting bookings. Let your hostess help you. Keep her involved. You tell her, once you get out of your incentive period, you need to have a name and a date written in order to give them the hostess special rewards. So just get in the habit of saying it now. I need a booking to be able to get you those rewards. And ask her who would be a good hostess. You can even ask her who would make a good book lady. Let her help you recruit too. The Google Doc in 2.11 will help you with being strategic with your winners. Talk to your team leader. She can help you. Hostess rewards. Be clear about when your incentive period is ending or when the September hostess rewards end or whatever. So you don't have someone at like 11:50, I need to pick my books. It's stressful. So give them time, check in advance. I can't tell you the number of people I have who are like, oh my gosh, my incentive period ends tomorrow. I have 6 hostesses who haven't cashed in their rewards and I have to do it all. Don't do that to yourself. So the way I do it, and again, this is in the units, so I'm not like telling you anything crazy. I tell her how many free books she's earned, how many half-price books she's earned, how many bonus books she earned from me for her doing her bingo board. If you have a question about the bingo board, ask your team leader. If she's close to the next level, I tell her how much in retail she needs. Like if it's like 10, 15 bucks, most people will buy a book for that so that they can get even more rewards. And that helps your sales too. And then I have her make me a wish list and send me the link because it keeps a running total and she doesn't have to think too much. And then I can just fit them in the right places. I ask for her address and I start the order in Order Pro and then I give her the total and have her call me or pay me via PayPal. So that's how that works. Stop sharing. All right, I'm back. So guys, I don't see anything else in the chat. Does anyone have any other questions? We've got about 6 minutes left before my free 40 minutes is up. But in short, just, be confident, try something new, go live, do your follow-ups. You can hear my dog scratching at the door, right? He's ready to go to bed. See, it's not perfect. You're not going to be perfect, but if you're doing the work, people will notice and they'll appreciate it. Also, use the units. Use the units, use the units, use the units. I can't say that enough. I probably could have just done a 2-minute thing that says, 2-minute training. Use the units. And listen to your team leader. I promise. Trust your team leader. She is a leader because she has worked hard and she knows how to party. She knows how to hostess coach. She can help you. Okay, odds are she's seen it, or the leader, or her leader has seen it. Any situation that you have, they're here because they want to help you. So I'm going to jump off, I think, because I don't think we have any questions. If you do have questions, you can ask them in the post where I posted the link. Otherwise, go rock those parties, you guys. Tell me how it went, okay? Okay, see you later.